Y'all ready?
Y'all ready?
Yeah. You have stepped out into the world of chaos, where everybody goes hard. Come on. Go hard. 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 Or go home. Never back down. You gotta hold your own. Go hard. 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 East Coast. Go hard. West Coast. Go hard. Midwest. Go hard. Dirty. Hurry up, everybody. Get online, buy your tickets, cause the game about to start.
Welcome to BasketballHeads Live. I'm your host, Glenn Pooh Harding, and today we are celebrating our 100th show. Let's make some noise for that, y'all. Make some noise for that. Oh man, it's been a journey. And 99 more shows later, we got my guy, and now my brother, Seth, up north, Marshall. No need for introduction. We gonna get the show on the road.
Yo, what up, family? What's happening? We on the check-in. Seth up North Marshall. We getting the show on the road. First of all, I want to thank Glenn Pooh Harding for allowing me an opportunity to share my story. But before we get into the show, I want to gift him something, because he's done interviews, he's done all types of stuff, he's reached out, being an ambassador of the community and the culture, and nobody else is doing it. So right now, I need you to take that off right there, please. No doubt. And I need you to put this on. Woo!
Fam, he got me a boys high jersey, and I'm a Lincoln dude, right?
It's an original throwback.
Look at this.
This is nothing to play with. If anybody that knows ball in the game,
Wow.
do your history. Find out. Original.
It's my guy. Thank you, brother.
Appreciate that, love.
Appreciate you.
You know it.
Thank you, man. Oh, man, this is awesome, man. I appreciate this a lot. Woo! And look, hope our Lincoln people don't get mad, man, because, look, boys and girls got a lot of love for you guys. You guys right in the hood, went to all you guys' games, and all my friends went there. So salute. And R.I.P. Mo Kirby.
That's one of the reasons why I did it. For guys like that. R.I.P. Mo Kirby. R.I.P. Dwayne Pearl Washington.
That's right. So, Seth, what I like to ask everyone, right, to come on the show is, who introduced you to the game?
No one. Actually, nobody really introduced me. It was just something I felt I was born with. Coming outside, that was the sport most of the people that I was watching, that's what they were going to do. Since 3 years old, I fell in love with the game of basketball. Didn't know how to play. The story goes, I was out on the street, on the sidewalk, and there was a dog in the yard that actually was a red, white, and blue basketball in the yard. I stood in front of the gate. My parents watched me to see what was I gonna do, and I paced back and forth. The dog sat there and watched me, and I literally went in the yard and got the red, white, and blue basketball. The dog didn't move, and he waited till I was about to leave, and he sniffed at me. I got bit by a dog at 3 years old, sacrificing the game of basketball for a ball. That's how it really started.
Wow, that's crazy, man. Listen, I think from that beginning showed your fiery competitive nature, right? Because your first competitor was that mean-ass dog.
Definitely.
Right? And what we like to call ball players who get at it are dogs.
Now you understand.
Right? When you're a dog, you go out there, you get it, and you growl and you saliva. looking for that next ball player to devour. What part of Queens you from?
I'm from Hollis Queens. The land of Run DMC. Walk this way. You know what I'm saying? You know the vibes. Hollis, stand up.
That's right. That's right. Would you say you was an early bloomer, or you picked up the game a little late?
I've always been around the game, but considering the popularity of the way the game was going, I'm considered a late bloomer.
So what age do you say, like, you really started to take it serious?
I would have to say somewhere between junior and senior year of high school, maybe around 17, 18. Before then, I wasn't taking the game seriously. I just was hooping just because that was what it did and all my friends was doing it. And I knew I was good enough, but I didn't have a support group to advocate the pathway of how to use my skills and talent until my best friend, Mike Blissett, a coach at Cardoza High School right now. He's the one that started this journey that morphed into the man that you see today. He asked me, hey, what you doing? Do you want to go to college? He was attending Central Arizona Junior College on a baseball scholarship. But he seen talent in me probably that I didn't even recognize in myself. And after that question, I said, hell yeah. He called the coach. Coach called me, asked me, can I get a plane ticket? And right then and there, at the time, I was actually staying with my big bro, God bless him, rest in heaven, Jam Master J of the great group Run DMC.
Rest in peace.
He asked me, did I want to go to college? I said, yeah, I got an opportunity. I was always around him. He helped pay my first semester of college.
Whew, hold on. Let's get some noise for that. Let's get some noise for that, man. Wow. Jam Master J, legend, R.I.P. Let me say something again. Let me say something to the audience. Every time this guy speaks, excuse me, guys. Every time this guy speaks and name a person, it just brings us closer together. Now, he mentioned Michael Blissett, right? Jay, lift that up here. He mentioned Michael Blissett. Now, his brother, Jason Blissett, is my guy. That's my friend. It's my dog. All right, what up, Kenny Anderson on the check-in?
Yo, K.A., what up, my G? I'm coming to see you, bro. I'll be down south in a minute. I love you, bro.
For sure. So he mentioned his brother, Michael. Look, another connection, man. So we're going to continue with the Seth Marshall story. He gets no better than this, baby. All right, Seth. When you was coming up, who was the best player in your neighborhood?
Straight to this day, he's the best player in my neighborhood. He's the best player in New York City. And if you ask me, he's the best player I've ever seen touch a basketball. And that's Lloyd Sweepy Daniels.
Woo! Get some noise. Yo, what up, Lloyd? You hit me up every day. You sit our love this morning. He always texts me. Salute to the legend. That's right. Lloyd Daniels. So we were speaking about you not having someone in your corner. You didn't have a mentor coming up, right? Which a lot of us lack, having that mentor, someone to guide us in the right direction. And when we have those questions, when we have those thoughts of doing something negative compared to doing something positive, or just making the right decision, that mentor is that person that's there to help us. Tell us, how did that affect you, Seth?
It actually affected me in a positive way because I challenged myself to prove what I really believed all along, that I was just as good as anybody else. And I was around the best of the best. As you heard, check-ins, K.A., you know what I'm saying? Boo Harvey, countless players that was coming up. Shine in the newspaper, Daily News, Newsday, The Post, the greatest was the big, hey, what up, my G? What happened was the streets of New York. Everywhere I went, there was a challenge, and I just didn't quit. I just didn't quit. And finally, you know, it started to turn around, and some people started saying, you can do something with this. You know, you're going to college, you're going to, you know, what you're doing, you can do something with this if you put your mind and your work ethic and really practice, countless hours of practice. And all it takes is one game, one person to notice you. And it can be, you know, for some people, it's an overnight story. But for me, it took countless years and countless tournaments and countless leagues for me to really build and make myself into this, what I'm doing right now.
What's up, Ted? What's going on, baby?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm chilling, man. You got a question for my guy Seth? We letting everybody just come on and kick it with my guy Seth. Anything you want to ask? Anything you want to share? Kind of, hold on. I'll get back with that, kid. When you ready, when to stop buffering. So I know you told me that your parents was very serious about your grades, right? And it was more important for you to get good grades than you be a great athlete to them.
Yes.
How important was that for your parents to set those rules early?
You know, at the time, I was very, very upset and discouraged, and I didn't know the real scope of success, you know, the plan after basketball and the things of that nature. Well, what I did find out, because I was grounded in school and did what I was supposed to do, a lot of things that came up in basketball, being educated was allowing me to move through and maneuver through obstacles, you know, a lot of manipulation and a lot of, negative vibes. It was just something like that. So, you know, I commend my mother, you know, Maureen Marshall. You know, we go through it every time, all day. It's just me and her. You know, I lost my father when I was younger, 15, to Agent Orange. So I really didn't have a father figure, you know, growing up. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. So, yo, KA, you back in. Let me tell you a story, KA. I got to cut this right now because I'm going to tell you how much you affected me. So we go back to, you don't realize this, but when I was 12 years old, you was playing for the church.
Yeah.
And Lloyd was just coming up. You know how sweet he is.
Yeah, he's
He
awesome.
asked me, were you good or you think you good? So he told me, yo, they got this kid out of left rack called Chips. You think you can mess with him? And I was like, I don't know. You know, let's do whatever. I don't even know what to say. He actually brought me to Riverside Church at the next day to play against you. We played against each other at 12 years old at Riverside Church. And I ain't never stopped since. I've been a supporter and following you every day. Another time I tried to get at you was Citywide, right across the street. I was on the team with Joe Bostic, BJ, Omar Lee, and all those guys sitting on the bench. And all I wanted to do was play against you, because if I can compete against you, they can't tell me nothing. So I just want to tell you I love you and I appreciate you for doing what you did, man. You affected me in a real way.
Man, oh, that's great, man. And I'm just so happy I could do that. And BasketballHeads is just like I'll be on my phone. I'll be playing like just today. I was on my phone and I heard you was on here, and I just clicked on. So it's really a positive thing that he's doing here. And it's just all of New York and everything. And for the last few days, I'm always hitting on BasketballHead to see who he got on. So it's just great, man. It's just an awesome thing that that we're getting across. And I don't really got nothing to say. I just listen.
You ain't got to worry about it. I say it for you, bro. I advocate for you. You know, I'm linked in with Jay Gill. You know that. At Protege, I'm linked in with Golf. You know that. We just missed you when we was down in Fort Lauderdale. I was trying to link with you, but you was just under the weather a little bit. So I gave you your space.
Yeah, I'm coaching now here in Fist, Tennessee, and this is a great feeling for me to be coaching. And, you know, I'm just trying to get this program up and running the right way. You know, Fisk University down here in Nashville, Tennessee. And we're NAIA school. And, you know, it's something I love to do just to help the other guys, young men that's trying to play, come up in the game of basketball and in life in general. So this is just it's awesome, man, that I could hear you speak on here and, you know, you share some of your stories that, you know, how you grew up and everything. The whole New York. So it's just awesome, man. Lloyd, I talked to yesterday. He's just great, man. Everybody. And as
well, anything, man, I'm gonna get your math and we're gonna link, and anything you need me to do,
That's right.
I'm on deck.
We're gonna send you some players down there, fam. Trust me.
Yeah.
We're gonna be your eyes and ears up here for you, for sure.
Please. It's a great thing what you're doing, and I love it.
Thank you, Kay. Appreciate you, brother.
I love it, man.
Thank you.
I thank you. Thank you.
All right.
I thank all of y'all.
Appreciate you, brother. Keep doing what you're doing, man. All right, one love.
My man.
Thank you. That's awesome, man. Great Kenny. So we doing the 100th episode, Basketball Heads Live. Salute to the legend, Kenny Anderson. That's what we doing. So, we ain't finished yet. We ain't finished. I got some more. So, at the time when you was coming up, right? You were saying how education was important. Mom kept you focused. So you didn't have mentors. When you decided like that, maybe your junior, senior year, did you go off for the team? And what high school were you at?
Well, this is how the story actually went.
Yeah.
I actually went to A. Philip Randolph Campus High, the fourth parochial school in New York City. Campus High is at City College. For those that don't know that high school, they filmed Juice at that high school. So I pretty much was a nerd. I was on my way to Cornell and everything. I didn't join the team. I didn't go out for the team. It just so happens that intramurals was coming up. And actually at the school was my big bros, Ron Arnold and D. Law was at the school. And they befriended me coming from Queens, and just probably playing intramurals, they asked me, yo, am I coming out for the team? You know, unfortunately, I had an accident in Hollis, and from a childhood friend, during a rainy day on a Saturday, missing CYO practice, we got into a little argument in the fight, and he picked up a stick, and he flinched. I flinched at him, he flinched, and I got stabbed in the eye with a stick in my left eye. I'm naturally blind in my left eye. So for those that don't know, there's more to my story than you can ever believe. No excuses.
Who would have known? I never knew that.
So I transferred to Martin Luther High School. I had friends there that was playing. I figured I could take my talent there, you know, as a sophomore, and then turn around. I made the varsity team, but I didn't get no burn. I didn't come off that bench, you know, so I quit and went right up to Gauchos and tried out for Gauchos. And fortunately, I played on that. I made that team, trying out against the A and the B team. Shout out to the Twins. Shout out to Dave McCullough, Dave Jones, the whole Gaucho organization. Shout out to my man Dwayne right now, holding my nephew down, Austin Gayton, 9-year-old playing on the 10 and up. You know the vibes. You know what I'm saying? So from there, you know, I just really honed my talents. And then I went back as a junior. Nothing was happening. I got to play against great teams. I would lose by 50, probably score 25, close to 30 and stuff, trying to keep my dream alive, you know, getting laughed at. I lost to OSL, Arnold Bernard, and that whole team. I lost to Christ the King. You know what I'm saying? Los, about 50, you know. I lost to St. John's Prep, Ram, you know what I'm saying? All the big guards, all the guards in the city and whatnot. And I just was taking mental notes. And finally, my senior year, that was really it. I was almost giving up. until, like I said, until after that senior year, Mike Bliss actually, you know, was watching me. And I actually had a messenger job and worked in the mailroom. That's what I was actually doing at the time. And on 23rd Street. And we played in the summer tournament, OCP Park. OCP, stand up. OCP, FedEx. FedEx, the mayor. The mayor, OCP, stand up. You know the vibes. Yo, Stymie, my twin, AKA Six Rings, stand up. You know the vibes. And from there, that was my story of going to college, and that was the journey.
Man, first of all, Seth, and we're going to get to this in a few. All the ass you kicked, all the people who foot you put in their neck, you was doing that while blind in one eye?
Yes. Yes.
Let's make some noise for that right now, man. God, man, yo, this is crazy. I don't think y'all understand. For some of y'all have a hard time playing with two. Take away one. And all you great players, let me see how great you really are. My God did it with one eye, just to look at, just from both sides, and dominated. And those names that he mentioned, he was kicking his ass by 50. He was losing to. He was coming up short. Oh yeah, things turn around. And they turned around like this. Seth, let's go there. When you went up to the Gauchos, did you start to build your confidence after leaving high school and seeing that you were on a losing team and wasn't really going anywhere? Did the Gauchos kind of help you out confidence-wise?
Definitely, because coming from where I came from, you know, once you get a little game and everything, you know, you think you're nice and what have you. And my big bros and OGs checked me. The first thing they were saying, well, you nice in your park. Did you do that in other parks? And so the journey started going around in other parks, all around Queens, you know, every park, every gym, you can name it. I went in there and left a lot of chalk and a lot of yellow tape and what have you. And then the journey, did you go to Brooklyn and do that? Did you go to the Bronx and do that? Did you go to Harlem and do that? Was you in Staten Island and do that? Well, the journey took off there. And then as I moved on in life, I took that journey on state to state, park to park, gym to gym.
So from a guy who was on the outside looking in, because you was playing high school basketball, but you wasn't in the in crowd, right? From your perspective, how did things look from your side, knowing that these were other guys that was getting, you know, their fanfare and getting noticed?
I mean, I didn't have time to hop on it really, because, you know, time waits for no man. So you either gonna put the work in or kill yourself. Whew. You understand? It's just that simple. I didn't need anybody to motivate me or anything. If I wanted what they had, I had to do what they did. I had to practice and put my work up against them. That was how I gauged everything, you know. But going up to that Gauchos tryout, I pretty much followed everyone. I followed how they progressed in everything. But what I noticed was they all had some type of background. They all had someone advocating for them, a top school, a big time program, you know, a rich hustler, you know, a gangster, a thug, you know, a record label. They all had something connected. If you know me, I'm me, 100% solo. You see me by myself. That's why I love it. I didn't need nobody to hold me down. I hold myself down. I didn't need nobody to advocate me in terms of a connection and I'm over here with this team and that team, nothing. But knowing that tryout was make it or break it, and all those guys is getting ready to go to Syracuse, St. John's, North Carolina, all the top schools and everything, I knew that they were watching them. So if I can compete and at least showcase that I can keep up with them, well, maybe some of these schools might take notice of me.
Well, you went down to Central Arizona and you became first team All-American. All right? I don't care what level you do it on. If you first team All-American on any level, first team, that means you was putting in work. What kind of mindset did you have going down there?
That was great because the year before, the first year, we had a tough season, you know, getting acclimated, leaving New York, you know, trying to get situated, not being homesick, trying to see how this thing called college works, you know, learning the ins and outs, the ebbs and flows of politics and what have you. But my raw talent, you know, pretty much carried me through the first year to becoming Rookie of the Year. So that put everybody on notice. But really, let me rewind back. I had an opportunity to go to the top team in that conference, which was Arizona Western. They had the likes of Mark Moss coming out of Queensbridge, Brian Walker coming out of motherfucking Queens. They had Mitchell Foster. They had Jermaine Smoke. They had Buffalo's own Trevor Ruffin. They had Far Rockaway's own Kurt Taylor. They had assortment of nothing but straight killers. And there's more than them. I can't name them all. But I got invited to play with them, but I knew playing with them, I wouldn't be able to distinguish my talent to theirs. So I felt like I always feel, I'd rather play against an all-star team. And to some people, you know, by default, we call that the Lloyd Daniels disease. Really, Lloyd would take 4 nobodies, 4 blind people if he had to, deaf, and beat anybody. So that's pretty much how we work. I put my game up, I put my work, my skills up against anybody with that. So that's pretty much why I chose Central Arizona, because they ain't never seen a player like me. I knew it. And then once I started shining, I'm pretty sure the cameras and lights was gonna be on me.
You know what's so crazy? Corey Homicide Williams said the same thing.
Corey Homicide Williams, AKA the Patient Wolf, out there in Australia. You know the vibe, that's my baby bro. I was definitely on him. He wasn't homicide when I met him.
Whew. And like you said, he didn't want to play on a team full of names. So he said, yo, G, I had a strategy. I'm going to get my name by playing with a bunch of nobodies and going out there and be the one who everybody's looking at. And Seth, when he was in junior college, said the same thing. I'm not going to go team up and, you know, get me a super team. I'm going to stay here and do damage. And it all worked out. So, become first team All-American. Are any schools recruiting you?
Well, actually, this is leading into the second year I'm at Central Arizona. And we just finished the season 15-15. It was a dismal season. We lost in the playoffs to Northern Pioneer, everything. Shouts out to Chicago. They had a pipeline of nothing but dudes from Chicago and everything. But I wasn't scared. So, you know, I matched up against anybody, but we lost and what have you. So leading into my senior year, my coach went out and he did the best recruiting he can do. He got the top 2 big men in the state. George Banks got drafted. George Banks went to UTEP, got drafted to the Miami Heat. Shout out to G Banks, you know. And Damon Gosa. Damon Gosa was a 6'8", pretty much do it all and whatever. Rest in peace. He lost his life to illness and everything. Not gonna forget you. I love you, Damon. You know, his cousins that I played with there were the Rhymes brothers, Byron and Marlon. Shouts out to Byron and Marlon. Marlon went to Pitt. You understand? So we think we got a team. And lo and behold, Marlon grades is not really doing well. Damon's grades not doing well. Big G Banks has some type of ACL. And I'm just thinking that I got to go somewhere, man. Something got to happen, man. I can't go through another 15 season or whatever it was. And I had Arizona State coming early. New Mexico State came early. And Fresno came. Fresno was there to see a teammate of mine, 6'6", Ron Oden. Shouts to Ron Oden. They weren't coming to see me, but maybe within 5 minutes of the practice, who was that guy? And they started that recruiting me from there. So I was, they was trying to get me the early signing. And lo and behold, my dream was to go to St. John's. I already had a pipeline because of my connection of everybody that went there, but no one really knew it. I didn't even know that they were actually trying to get in touch with me. We had a pipeline to go to LSU, Dale Brown. I could have been playing with Shaq and Chris Jackson, now Mahmoud Raouf. You know, we had a pipeline in Texas, Tom Penders. I could have been at Texas. You know, I didn't even know these people was calling my house. But unbeknown to me, the politics, you know, how you have to deal with getting recruited, my mom didn't know, and people around me wasn't really familiar. So they really wasn't telling me what was going on. So I just took the best opportunity I could and signed with Fresno early.
That's crazy, man, because when you go through the process and the whole recruiting process, a lot of people don't know that when these coaches come to the gym and they come to watch somebody else, even though you're not being recruited, you got to be on point because you never know. You might show them something that they need or that they like. A lot of players get discouraged if they're not being recruited. My thing is, just try to put yourself in a position where it can happen, right? So with all the players that Seth ran off, he knew, man, like, my opportunity got to come. And Fresno came to watch somebody else. Not saying he stole that shine, but he was always on point to where if something like that happened, he was ready.
The key slogan is, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
Facts.
So I did all my work before that. Countless suicides, wall sits, countless shots up. 10,000 hours of practice, you begin to master something. And I put my work in hour and hour and hour beyond hours. I have been on punishment and restriction for breaking curfew, for practicing with Lloyd Daniels. Lloyd Daniels wants to practice at night, at 11 o'clock at night. And his philosophy was, if I can make these shots in the dark, imagine what I can do when the lights turn on.
This is a true story. Like, he's not making this up. I know this Lloyd Daniels story. The fact that he practiced at night and shoot at night. So when the sun come out, everything is warm. Everything. And I can vouch for that because, you know, I'm a proud member of that 47 he gave me, Juice, and Mark Brown in '86 in the AAU game. Salute Lloyd Daniels. All right, now. How did things turn out? Did you stay at Fresno?
Yeah, it almost got real difficult. Well, my first year, you know, coming in, I'm their first All-American that they recruit. They actually they had just changed conferences. They came from UNLV, from the Big West.
Yes.
Because that was the reason I thought that I was going to go there, because I wanted to play against UNLV in the Big West. But lo and behold, that summer, they transferred to the WAC. And when I got there, you know, everything started off great. You know, shouts out to my man, Carl Ray Harris. He was the killer there. He's the one who recruited me there. He's the one who I trusted, and he took me under the wing. Shouts out to Big Kurt on that set. You know it. Shouts out to the whole family. You know everybody. You know the vibes. But we had a point guard that's now at BYU, Damon Santiago. Excuse me, let me take that back. Brian Santiago. And he was supposed to be the point guard. I was the two guard. First preseason game, he broke his hand. So being that I was a triple threat, I played a 1, 2, and 3. I moved over to the point guard. And we went 8-2, running off. Shout out to my wing players, DeAndre Austin, Compton, California. You know the vibes. Everybody, yo, Coach Ty Russo, you know the vibes. Brother Ty, I ain't never forget. And on the other side was, rest in peace, my boy from Tyler, Texas, Devon Satterwhite. He lost his life to health issues just this past couple of years. So I love you for that. But I told him, just like the Magic Johnson rule, get to your spot and I got you. And we was running it off, 8-2. And then Brian hand healed and coach decided to put him back in. And it kind of went down from there. The next game, we played Air Force, my first ESPN game. Everybody's staying up to 12 o'clock in the morning. Social media is not out. I'm getting calls in the dorm room. I'm getting calls in the basketball office, everything. Everybody's up, getting ready to watch me shine. This is where I'm getting ready to make my name. And just so happens that you never know what your teammates and everybody else is thinking at the same time. They want to shine too. We lose the Air Force by 20 on national television. They're the last place team. And after that after that game, I went in the locker room and cursed everybody out. And I got suspended for the Hawaii trip. The next thing, San Diego State, which was the trips that I was, looking forward to going on. And it just went downhill from there. But luckily, I had a little something in my back pocket because I worked at 5-star basketball camp, the world-renowned 5-star basketball camp. Rest in peace, Howard Garfinkel, Will Clark.
That's right.
Howard Garfinkel was my biggest mentor. He didn't know. I shocked him too. He didn't know where I was. When I was transferring to Fresno, I told him I need to work out. They sent me to 5-star. Lo and behold, my roommate was Dave Edwards. They didn't know how close we was. Rest in peace, Dave Edwards.
Rest in peace.
And the likes of all types of players was in there. Donnell Marshall, Dante Calabria just won a championship at North Carolina. My best friend, Rick Brunson, just countless players was there. And European players, guys from Israel. And sure enough, I showed out, Literally, I tell you another story that in the layup line, what people don't know, what they call the East Bay dunk, I was doing the under the legs dunk then, 1990-91, before anybody seen it. Check my record, check anywhere. I challenge anybody and whatnot. The likes of the kids, Trajan Langdon, Steve Wojciechowski, Andre Patterson, Jelani White, all these players that went to all these top schools, I was taking care of them, cutting their hair, putting that killer in them, asked them about me. And after that summer, after the council game, Israel was bringing up some players. They had a lot of players from different countries coming over, and I got offered a job to recount my scholarship. Don't go to Fresno. Come to Israel for $75,000, and in 2 years I'll be in the NBA. But there again, like I told you, nobody knows me. They see I can play, but I didn't have anybody advocating or somebody that could tell me how that process goes. I didn't have the belief or the confidence to know how to do that. So I decided, now I'm gonna pass on that, and I just went on and went back to Fresno.
Now, we was talking, when we had that conversation on the phone, and you were saying, gee, in hindsight, I should have took that job. He said, if I would have took that job, I know I would have been in the NBA.
Man, the reason I believe that wholeheartedly is, 94, when I finished Fresno, I got invited to an unofficial workout at the New York Knicks. The job was to invite players to come to the camp to get the team ready to go to training camp. No one knows me. And the people that was responsible for me getting there was, God bless, my dear friend, my surrogate father, the great Sid Jones.
Yes.
United Brooklyn stand up.
Yes.
you know,
Great coach.
everybody, and James Ryan. These guys are the Mount Rushmore coaches of New York City. And I'm not going to leave out Mr. Couch, the other Mount Rushmore coach, you know. Excuse me. And well, in that that little, you know, experience, the great Derek Harper befriended me. And I didn't even know to ask questions or you know, certain things. I just did, you know, what I knew best. Play ball, throw the ball up. I ain't got time. And really, long story short, I really put that work in. I played on by the first day. I got on maybe the last 2 games. The second day, Derek Harper's the captain. He's picking teams. Charles Oakley's captain. He's picking teams. Yo, shouts to Herb. Shouts to Big Herb. You know what I'm saying? You know the vibes. I miss you and love you. Herb Williams, if y'all don't know what Herb I'm talking about. The next day when we coming in, when they pick, Oakley picks Pat and Derek Harper picks Seth Marshall. And I just knew I was one step closer. And sure enough, I was really putting in that work, balling. I played 94 feet. I'm a two-way player. You know, by the end of that first day, they told me I couldn't play defense. I had to play defense at half court. I played defense at the other baseline. You got to fight to get the ball inbounds. So, you know, Pat Riley, a great coach, was there. He might have sent that kite down. Yo, get that boy off him. He's making my guys look bad, you know. But I ran into a buzzsaw again. You know, I figured I'd have a line. I had a couple other teams, you know, interested on some free agent contracts, but they had a lockout, a players lockout. And when a lockout comes, all things on table, all contracts, all paperwork is voided.
Stops. Yep. So now, this puts you in a quagmire. Because now, the NBA is in a lockout, and you kind of on pause. So now, somebody got to pay for this. And now you start to put your aim toward the parks of New York City basketball and all over across the country. Let's talk about who asked you bust. All right? And now, I'm going to pause this because a lot of times when I ask this question, and I don't mind, and I respect you guys who don't want to give an answer to that. Much respect. But it's the 100th show, and we got Seth Marshall here. And you know what? He got a story to tell. Seth, after all of those things that was happening to you with the politics game, you not having someone to vouch for you. Now you're on your own in the parks, mano a mano. You, the ball, and the person that's on the other side of you. Run down the list of all the guys who you checked off after being passed over.
Well, you know, y'all don't take this personal. I don't mean this in any malice intent. You know, I only build up. I don't tear down.
That's right.
I do not destroy. But the likes of any high school baller or college player that was coming home that from New York City, any one of them, I was taking notes. I had a list. And so when you might think I'm a little extra, I'm going at you to steal your shine. If they're looking at you, they gotta evaluate me. And so I don't need to know name names particularly, but run down them names for anybody in your best high schools. Yes, I was clearing them out and destroying them. You know, they was having 4 fouls in the first quarter. I mean, a lot of guys. So, you know, I didn't play against competition. I played against the clock.
Talk that talk.
I put that work in, and so I didn't have to worry about the competition. See, what y'all don't realize from New York City, when we get on the court, what y'all scared to do, things like this, when we stepped on the court, we already know and did our homework who's the main guy. So what we would do is we would walk past the guy that we know that has to guard us, and I would ask them, I would just scream out, who's guarding me? And just say, whoever's guarding me, they go, whatever they can do, they gonna have to do all of that shit today. Right now. Don't short me. Don't cheat me. And I just commenced to go in my bag, no matter what type of game it is. I don't mind if it's rough, if it's finesse, structured, it don't matter. Princeton, passing, moving without the ball, it don't matter. You want to get freaky with it, all the handles and dribble. I did all that before I got serious. Butt dribbles, throwing it off your head, everything. Score can be tied up, and I got the possession. I do something stupid trying to embarrass you, and I wouldn't care if we lost. So back then, when then it changed. So now I'm serious. I ain't got time. We could be up 30, 6 minutes left in the court. Coach is calling for me to sub out. Fuck that. I don't give a fuck about you got to get other kids in the game. They didn't do their work. If they did their work, they got subbed in. I'm trying to get 50, and I'm only on 40. I got 10 more points. So I don't want to hear that. So a lot of coaches and a lot of people thought I was disgruntled and arrogant, uncontrollable. Yeah, I was uncontrollable because I did my work. I know what I can do.
And since you've been in the back of the line, they didn't realize you've been in the back of the line so much. See, what they were seeing when you was getting 40 and 50, they thought Seth has always been here. Nah, Seth was in the back of the line. Seth was being passed over. Seth was dealing with the politics. So when he got his chance to get on the court with you, and you thought he was a little bit too rough, a little bit too abrasive, man, he was waiting his time to get here to this point. While a lot of us was handed those positions. A lot of us drove to the game in the Bugatti. We got out the limousine. We walked to the court in our slippers. You know, we had our guys, you know, hand out our jersey, get our towel, get our Gatorade, do our nails. We ain't here for that. Mano a mano. My man Seth, taking down names, writing them down, putting them in the bag, saving them for a rainy day, or when it was 90 degrees out. And the crowd was there. And they saw up north walking in the park. And then the crowd started cheering. And then the decimal level started climbing. And it started getting louder. And you was on prime time. You was right there, center stage, in the spotlight, one-on-one. Gotta deal with them. Gotta deal with them elbows. Gotta deal with them going hard. Step back, jump shot, and them flush it on you. You gotta deal with that. New York City history, baby. Seth Marshall.
Yeah, I wasn't about the hype and having somebody, you know, bring me to the game in the car, or like you said, all the different, you know, have all the girls and all the jewelry on. Yo, I took the train and bus everywhere. Ground up, build it up from the mud. I like to wipe my hands on the concrete. I like dirt on my hands. I like the pissy hallways and the back staircases in the projects. I do it for y'all. You understand? I do it for the ones that's not seen. I do it for y'all. That's who I represent. There's three things that a lot of these kids don't understand as an ambassador of the culture of New York City. You have one, your last name. You represent your family. You understand? Two, your community. You represent a whole bunch of people in your community. You understand? And three, you represent yourself as a man. As a man, you have to stand for something. And partly to my defense, I stood on those principles against anybody and everybody.
What tournament did you win MVP? Because I saw one where you had the 6 feet trophy and your son, right? He was like, I won this. He was so proud of his dad, right? Special moment.
Yeah, that tournament was up in B-Town. We went to Boston, a turf game. Greg Marius of the world famous Rucker Park invited us, put a team together. Yeah. He said he had to get me on that, make sure I was on that team. Took us up there, you know what I'm saying? Was playing for about 10,000. You know, it was light. But, you know, they don't know that work. And sure enough, they popping shit, all that. You know, we in somebody else's backyard, and that's where I really shine because I love going on the road. I love playing against the crowd, everybody. I love the odds against me. And, you know, I commenced to walk through there and do what I do and whatnot. It was just very, very, you know, plus I got my son there. It wasn't going to hold back on that. So I just had to just take that little hardware and everything, take that little change, you know, they gave us and whatever. And, you know, ain't nothing to it. Shouts out to Mike Bivens. You know what I'm saying? You the real deal. You know the vibes.
That's right, Mike Bivens. Any heartbreak, Beantown. So, my guy and Bronx legend, Julius Allen, said that you are a phenomenal player that he coached, and not only a phenomenal player, that you are an even better person, right? What do you got to say about the great Julius Allen?
Jules, just first of all, I humbly appreciate the love and that you took a chance on me. You know, someone brought you, I don't even know if you knew I was coming. I got invited, I got drafted to the team out of college, and I actually was rejecting it. I didn't even think about that was worth my time. And finally, you know, I got a call from one of my OGs and said I need to go up there and see what that's about. Lo and behold, when I get up there, one of my guys, there again, somebody I believed in, somebody I watched develop, somebody I watched in college. The point guard was David Kane. DC, shouts out to you. You know the vibe. Love you, bro. And just seeing him, I just knew, oh, I got a shot. And he's fighting for his survival. He's trying to get to the league, you know, dipping and dabbling, knocking on the door. And Jules just decided, you know, this is the guy. He ran me through vigorous tryout things. They all tried to do things to see if I would break and what have you. And I just never broke. And Julius trusted in me, and DC trusted in me to do what I got to do. So every time we went places and had games, they just let me do what I do. Just be there.
Wow.
I love you, Jules.
Great man. So was you a part of that whole N1 situation? You know, I had Shane on the show, and he gave his input and insights on the whole N1 situation. We're not talking about just the brand and the sneaker. We're talking about the N1 basketball team that they had representing New York City.
Yes, I was right there. You know, when they came in, you know, the original guys, Shane the Dribbling Machine, Wally Main Event, Dixon, Anthony, half man amazing, half man, half amazing, Haywood. You know what I'm saying? Headache, shouts to you. You know the vibes and all the rest of them. I was one of those guys there, but they was asking everybody to sign waivers. They always had waivers there. I didn't actually know that they were filming because they were actually filming Rafer Skip to my Lou Austin, I was a teammate of his on Entourage. Entourage was a team that was coached by the great Herschowitz.
That's right.
You understand? Rest in peace.
Chiefs, legend.
Ron Niclario, Coach Niclario. And that team consists of, I'll start from the big men down to the guards. Zendon Hamilton. Shamel Jones.
274.
Jamil Watkins. Keeble Stewart. Forwards, Bud Pollard. A couple of other guys I can't remember right now. Going into the guards. Tom Miles. Hold your head, boy.
That's right. Salute, Tom.
You know what I'm saying? Stacy Castle. Far Rock, stand up.
Buckets.
The protege that's at Florida, Coach J. Gilliam Alexander, the protege, out at Florida Atlantic University. You know the vibes. I'm missing a couple. I ain't gonna forget y'all. That was a special team. Who else we had? There was a few others, but then let me get to the pros. Rafer, Skip to my Lou Austin, and one of my dear friends, great friends and everything, showed me nothing but love, always cared about me, wanted me to have it just as much as him. Stephon Marbury.
Salute, my guy.
You understand? Coney Island, stand up. I see you, Jamel Thomas, 530, D-Flight. Yo, Slick. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. You know the vibes. Zach, what up?
That's right.
You understand? I've been through it all. And that team, we was considered the young boys. And they just wanted a vet. And when I came up, you know, it was nothing. I just fit in. I fit in like Legos. And we started battling from there.
So, Seth, let's get into this. Top 5 players, New York City, your era. So I was going to hit with the history.
Do I include myself?
You goddamn right.
Right. First, I'm going to say Junie Sanders, a.k.a. General Electric.
Stand up.
James Speedy Williams.
Oh, my God.
John Strickland, a.k.a. Franchise, a.k.a. Bam Baby Panda, a.k.a. Mr. Finish Your Breakfast.
Finish your breakfast.
Rest in paradise, brother. I'm going to hold this down for you.
That's right.
That's 4. And really, I got to say, I can't even lie, man. My baby brother, New Rochelle, stand up. Rashawn Young, a.k.a. Krabby. I mean, there's others that could actually switch and be in that 5.
That's right.
And honorable mentions. But really, I'm going with that 5 because they still got it. Shouts out to the CEO, Dorian Black Graham. Shouts out to the generals, Anthony Hargrave, Gerald Dancing Doogie Thomas, D-Law, you know what I'm saying? And the whole rest of the team.
Yeah, Dancing Doogie. We talked a few months back, and he said he didn't have Instagram. Brother, if you get a chance, get Instagram. Or if there's any way we could, you know, come face to face, let's make it happen, fam. All right? That's real. Top high school, college, and pro you played against. High school, college, and pro.
Hands down, top high school was OSL, Xavier Lucan, hands down.
The player.
The player in high school?
Yes, not the team. The top player, high school, college, and the top pro.
It's kind of hard in high school because I didn't really play. I mean, even though
it could have been summer league. Could have been
summer league.
It could have been. Remember the high school era? Did you play? Not that much.
Nobody really can stand out with me with that in high school. I can't even tell you right now.
Got you.
College?
Yes.
Wow, that's tough. That's a tough one because I'm cocky if y'all want to say it that way. I'm different. Nobody was tough. Unless the clock was in a different language, that's who was the toughest. There wasn't really too many players. There was standouts, you know. I mean, Darren Hancock, you know, there was countless players, man, and whatnot. I can't really, wasn't no college stand out like that. You know what I'm saying? Pro, nobody really, you know.
Who do you revere as being the top 5 players in New York City history? You talk about people before you and even after you.
Lloyd Daniels, definitely.
Facts.
That's family. That's big bro. Sam Worthing.
Woo! It's my guy. Right up the block for me.
He's one of the biggest mentors, special person, special place in my heart. The history is what I really follow, so I gotta throw in Joe the Destroyer Hammond, Pee Wee Kirkland.
For sure.
You know.
Home, stand up. BX.
I mean.
And you, fam.
And me, that 5th guy. I really just keep telling I'm on that team. I can't really say
that's right.
offhand, putting me on the spot.
Right. So, have you been following New York City basketball? What's your perception of New York City basketball that you think is a culture right now?
I mean, I want to say it still exists.
Okay.
But there's a misconception that we're not at the top of the list anymore. You know, a lot of the culture has shifted where people are not afraid to come to New York and play anymore. When I was growing up in the 90s and what have you, they were scared to death to come here, but they were forced to come here. As you know, there's only two ways in, the George Washington Bridge, the Verrazano Bridge. You know what I'm saying? You can sneak in through the tunnels, but they was coming over here playing for second place. They came over here to lose by 50, steal game, and go back wherever they was from and win state champions and become the best of where they from. So New York City basketball is really compromised right now because they don't challenge each other. Half the kids, when I talk to them, they don't even have a rival. They don't even have a favorite player. When I ask them who their favorite player is, they name a name, and I ask them what's his move, what does he do that you like, and they can't even name nothing of the game of what they just see the highlights. They don't even follow them and see what type of work they putting in. You know, what type of advice that they giving of how they got there. And so, you know, until New York City basketball changes its culture and stop telling these young kids they nice and start telling them they ain't shit so they can prove themselves and everything, stop accepting that they got cubic zirconias in their ear, they got a do-rag on, or they mopsy-flopsy hair and tattoos, or a new pair of the new Jordans and everything, and they dubbing themselves nice. You can't give yourself a nickname. You gotta be donned a nickname. You gotta be made. Somebody gotta give you that. If you wasn't born with that by somebody like an uncle or somebody in the neighborhood, niggas ain't jacking that culture. Start listening to your coaches. Start understanding that they are there for you. They're a resource. You have to challenge them to get better. You have to ask questions, bother them, annoy them, get their phone number, wake them up at 2, 3 in the morning because you can't sleep. And ask them, well, I just was doing this. I can't do that. What do I do? And if a coach gives you an assignment, you need to follow it and do it. Because don't come back to practice the next day and he knows he told you what to do, and then all of a sudden, when you guys go through a drill or something, you continually making the same mistake. He know you didn't fucking do the work. And now you're wondering why you're not starting, why you're not getting as much playing time. You going home complaining to your parents. Now your parents is coming up to the school and fucking cursing the coach out. Why my son ain't getting no work? Why my son? He should be playing over him. And your fucking parents didn't even make varsity. That's why I won't coach. That's why. Because I'm telling you that you ain't shit, kid. I'm telling you your mama you ain't shit. I'm telling you your father you ain't shit. Because you have to challenge these kids. You have to challenge them so they learn how to survive here. Do you see what's going on in the culture and society right now? They're trying to kill you, black man. They're trying to kill you, king. This ain't nothing to fuck with. Do you see what type of money they giving? I'm so disgusted. I would have died to just sit on a bench in the NBA and wave my fucking towel like Jack Haley did for Dennis Rodman. You see the money they just gave Paul George? Shout out to Fresno State. You know what it is. We getting ready to link up. You know what I'm saying? G Young, thanks for putting that together for me. Yeah, Brooklyn's own. Telling you I'm connected. They just gave that man 4 years, 100 and whatever, 90 something, getting 47.5 million. And you complaining because he didn't perform in the playoffs? And they ripped him like they were going to trade him, and so they gave him a present of $47.5 million? Do you know what a guy like me would have did for 1 year like that? I'm a hitter. I'd have bodied anything. Y'all fucking around with the game, and y'all want somebody to pacify you. Y'all got every opportunity I didn't have. Come on, man. Shit, shouts out to Jelly Fam. I was hard on that man, Isaiah Washington. Ask anybody. That kid is fucked around and got his life, is getting his shit together. And he worked out and he's working his ass off. That's why I seen you out there in LA. I seen you in the workout and everything. So I wish you nothing but luck, nothing but success, black man. You up next. You know what I'm saying? This ain't shit to play with, y'all. Y'all fucking around. And then y'all want us to sit there and jack that shit and say shit like, yo, he good. Y'all need to stay with him. He get there, he get there. You only have one time for a first impression. One time. So when you go to tryouts, be the first one in the line because that's the only time you're going to be able to make a mistake. When the second guy makes a mistake, y'all niggas is on the baseline. Giving you some jewels, man. This ain't shit to play with, man. So when y'all come around me, y'all better fuck around and realize y'all around the right one. I challenge y'all. Ask questions. Annoy them. Be the next one up. Represent your family. You see what they putting on the back of the jerseys now? You can actually say your name, your first, the last name, the third, the second. You can put some affinity on the back of it, equality, power. Shouts to the gods. All praises due. Shout to my Muslim brothers also. Shukran. Assalamu alaikum.
Real deep, man. Real deep. Hope y'all got them jewels, man. That's right. Haha. Shane. That's him. That's him. We want to, before we get out of here, we're going to let some people ask some questions. You got a question for Seth? We'll bring you in the room. Say, never heard of him to play the rucker. The man been the best player since. Wow. He put on the show. Wow. Okay. Thank you, Cheese. Appreciate you, fam. Right? So, want to, one more thing before we get out of here, man. And when it's all said and done, right? When it's all said and done, and you sitting back in your rocking chair, playing with your grandchildren, your son grown, and you thinking about those moments. When it's all said and done, are you happy with your basketball career, how it turned out?
Well, first of all, I don't believe in accidents. The mighty Father created you in greatness. Your life was already scripted. Your job is to play it out. Your job is to find out your purpose in life, to find out how to reach your happiness. So I'm going to tell you, Up North stands for understanding people need opportunity reaching their happiness. I'll repeat that. Up North, understanding people need opportunities reaching their happiness. So I have no regrets. I believe everything that happened to me, in spite of all what I think were mistakes and failures, were exactly supposed to happen that way. And I'm proud of my resilience and my commitment and my discipline. I'm proud of everything. A broken clock is right at least once, right? Twice a day? Well, you can learn from bad information. You'll learn what not to do. So open your ears, humble yourself. You understand? Look what's around you. People are always willing to sit there and help the needy. If you sit there and humble yourself. Don't sit there and be arrogant and think you could do it by yourself. And then when shit failed, nobody helped me. Nobody did this. The shit was right in your face and you didn't ask. So when you're going through something, if you're depressed, if you're sick, sit there and lean on your brethren. Sit there and lean on the older guard. Sit there and talk to somebody. You understand? Listen, man, I just want the world I want to leave this world in a better place when I go. So that's why every time I touch something, every time I speak to someone, I am going to uplift any and every entity I'm around. My DNA is going to be on everything.
Well, it's definitely on the show, my brother. And look, if y'all ain't get it today, you're never gonna get it. Hopefully, when we do our group sit-down talk, Seth is definitely gonna be one of the people in the group session. My guy, John Johnson, definitely gonna be in the group session, and a few more people. So you stay tuned. And I would like to thank my guy, Seth Marshall, for taking time out of this day to come down to Voodoo Art Shop and kicking it with your guy. Thank Kenny Anderson for coming on the show, spread some love. I'd like to thank my guys, Jason and Joe, my guys behind the scene, always making this happen, and my guy, Voodoo, Faye, and then bring him in. Come in. And now I got my guy, come on, Lynn. My Queens brethren, okay?
Wow.
Our artist, our resident artist,
Wow.
Jamel Powell. You know what I'm saying? He came in right on time.
Wow.
Look at that. Right on time.
Wow.
Look at that.
Yo.
And look, yo, he gave my man Seth. Look at the paper. Everybody got the white paper for the Wanted show.
Wow.
This is big right now, fam. Look at this.
Oh, I appreciate you, family.
Look at that.
Definitely. See,
Look
this
at
is
that.
how we build the culture.
It's right from one Queens guy to another. Look at that. Look at that. In the building.
Yeah, y'all, and that's from scratch. That's from straight scratch. That ain't no damn. That's not prosthetic.
Yes. For sure. So make sure this is straight. You know what I'm saying? Y'all get a chance to see it. You take a picture of it so you can send me so I can put it up afterwards. Cool.
I appreciate you, man. That's super love, man. Oh my God.
That's what we do here at Basketball Heads, man. So with saying that, I'm gonna say this. Thank you for making this our 100th episode. We are Basketball Heads Live, the official home for New York City basketball, for sure. Seth, my brother, love.
Appreciate you, bro.
No
Thanks
doubt.
for having me.
No doubt. No doubt. So we gonna end it, baby. Peace.